Your name, please?
Carl Durbin.
And Carl, what do you do?
I am a drag entertainer.
And what name do you perform under?
Adora Dix.
Carl, first of all, why does a man dress like a woman?
Well, I think we all have different reasons. For me, my drag is a way of performing and entertaining. I've been in the entertainment industry for a long, long time, and I've entertained using lots of different mediums. Before I started doing drag, I was a clown. My drag, if you like, is an extension of my clowning. So I dress in women's clothes because it then allows me to portray a character. It helps you, I think, to lose yourself and become a different person. And it's boosts your confidence on stage. You become somebody else. You can get away with loads of things when you're in costume that you couldn't get away if you were just you. In amongst my drag, I also use magic. So I do some illusions on stage, which are quite funny illusions. I'm now in the process of learning fire eating, so that should be fun. I just hope the wigs don't go up. But all those things are all tools for me to entertain.
Drag queen, drag artist, or female impersonator?
Personally, I like to be called either a drag queen or a drag artist. I think drag can be broken down into sort of different things. I mean, my drag character is a real character. Her makeup's loud, her costumes are very heavily sequined. There's lots of frou-frou and feathers. I want my audience to know that I am a man in a frock. That straight away, from an entertainment point of view, means that I can then have fun with both male and female members of the audience. And also it means if I'm doing a straight gig, I'm not trying to deceive anybody. They know what I am.
There is a difference between drag artist or drag queen and female impersonators and dames. Could you sort of categorise those or explain that, please?
Yeah, I can. I mean, your classic panto dame would be someone like Les Dawson or Christopher Biggins, which really is only a lipstick and a dot of rouge away from being a man, really. They're kind of much more comical. They go in for the great, they go in for showing off those great big flowery knickers that they wear. And it's aimed at the whole family. It's more of a clown approach to drag. Great dames. Christopher Biggins is still working now as Dame Les Dawson. If you look at his character, Sissy, when he used to work with Roy Barraclough, it was Sissy and Ada. Both dame-like characters. If you look at them, it's very raw drag, very little makeup, wigs with rollers in, and it's a lot of facial expression, and it's more clown-like. I think a drag queen or a drag entertainer, as I like to call myself, we're kind of somewhere a little bit more advanced than that. We do tend to look a bit more like women. We're more over the top. Dali LaRue, there you go, would be classed as a classic drag queen. I think a female impersonator wants to portray the illusion and wants their audience to suspend disbelief while they're on stage and actually see them as a woman. And that's an art in itself, because it's all about not just the way you look, but body language and everything. It's a very complex thing. I think that's the difference between the three. I hope that makes some sense.
Do you get a lot of stick from people in the audience?
I hope so, because that's part of the fun of being a drag queen, is that you can fire back with both barrels, and I can be really, really wicked and get away with absolute murder. And that's the part of it. I think people like to see a drag queen have a good old pick on the audience, as long as you don't take it too far. There's a fine line between having fun and being offensive, and you just don't want to cross that over, I don't think.
When I went to Blackpool, I've been there a couple of times, 2 or 3 times actually, going back a few years. A lot of the pubs, a lot of the bars, you walk in and you get absolutely slated by someone on a pedestal, on a podium with a microphone. I'm one of those people that will sort of cower down out the way and try and creep to the bar without being seen. However, it doesn't work. Is it a normal thing for people to pick on those that look vulnerable?
Yes and no. I mean, I suppose I don't like to feel that I've offended or upset anybody, but I will pick on people. And also, I have to say, I'm fairly un-PC when I'm working. If someone's got ginger hair, then believe you me, they're going to have it because they've got ginger hair. If someone's tall, they're going to have it because they're tall. And I think, but that's the point, is you have to be able, and you have to be seen to be having fun with everybody and not just, honing in on one particular type of person. person. I'm far from perfect. I'm sure I'm fat, and I'm now 48, so I kind of fall into the fat and old category. And if people want to rip into me, I don't care. I'm quite happy as long as it's not done with malice or nastiness. That's the difference.
Do you think there is an irony when a customer walks into a bar and gets publicly humiliated by a man dressed as a woman?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what makes drag funny. I think that's the whole point of drag, is that I'm not sure if I can say this on radio, but my first line of my act, if I walk on stage, the audience gives a little clap, and I use Danny's old line, which is, yep, not bad for a in a frock. And then I think straight away you're allowing your audience to know, hey, here I am, look at me, how stupid am I? I'm a man in a frock on stage. I'm going to take the mickey out of the men as a woman. I'm going to take the mickey out of the women as a man. It's just great fun. You use so much ammo to make sure that your audience has a really good evening, and you do too while you're performing. It's the most important thing, I think, when you're doing drag or any kind of comedy. You have to enjoy what you're doing, and I think what you have to do is laugh with your audience, not laugh at your audience. That's the most important thing.
Why all the glitter?
Because it's just way over the top. I mean, if I went on stage in a frock from a high street shop and a normal kind of wig that you'd get from a high street store, it's not really. Most people want to see you dress the way they would not dress themselves, and I think again, you're dressing. It's a parody of a woman, so big wig, big boobs, big eyelashes, over the top glitz and glamour. It's all about parody, and parody's funny.
Are there any drag queens that sort of dress down?
Yeah, there was actually, unfortunately, he's no longer with us, he's passed away. It was a fantastic drag artist called Mrs. Shufflewick, or Shuff, as a lot of people knew. And what a fantastic character. I almost look at him as being almost like a character actor. Mrs. Shufflewick was such a strong character, and again, used to turn up in this sort of moth-eaten old coat and a little hat, and was all kind of hunched over. But I mean, the most hilarious stuff, without using any particular bad language. Lots of double entendre, which was fantastic, but a great actor. And really, he was working more or less right up until he died, and was still really popular. Packed a club or a pub or wherever he was performing, had a real huge following, and I think was the inspiration to loads of drag queens out there.
Who inspires you?
I think as a kid, when I was watching TV, it would probably be, the late great Danny LaRue, I suppose. I loved the way that he looked. I loved his image. He was always over the top and always flamboyant. And also sort of drag queens that I've actually seen on stage working. Here, where I'm at the moment, living in Bristol, there's some fantastic drag queens doing the circuit here, and they've inspired me. Also drag queens that have been brought in, if you like, to the Bristol area to do, sort of guest spots in pubs and clubs. I've seen some fantastic work, and actually some of them are really funny people, and at a drag, they're the sweetest people you could wish to meet.
When I see drag queens on stage, I see a lot of Shirley Bassey. Is that because she is very glamorous, very professional, very emotional, big audiences, typical sort of cabaret style singing, not your everyday performer?
Yeah, I also think obviously Shirley's become, she's probably one of the biggest gay icons, so I think that kind of helps. And yeah, I think if you're a drag act that mimes, then she has, when she performs, so much strong hand movement stuff, and you can again parody that and make a really big thing of that, and actually make something really funny. Also, those facial expressions you can exaggerate. So yeah, she's if you're doing impersonation, as in character impersonation, she's a fantastic person to use.
What's your favourite track to perform to?
Well, although I'm not a fantastic singer, I try and sing live. I don't mime. So I take each gig that I'm booked for, I kind of try and get a rough idea of what my audience is going to be, and I do stuff from up-to-date tunes which are maybe in the charts or just out the charts, right to old classics, the old standards. So I'm fairly mixed. I suppose my real favourite, and it's an old standard that nearly every drag queen does, but That's Why the Lady's a Tramp. It's just one of my favourite songs to sing, and again, you have great fun with just facial expressions, your hand expressions, and it's just, everyone knows the words, so they all join in with the chorus, and you can have great fun with it.
Carl, I'm about to end this interview. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
No, we just thank you very much for allowing me to soak the big gob on this microphone. And just to say, although all us drag queens might come across as being a bitchy and a bit nasty on stage, we're all pussycats out of drag. And thanks for being wonderful audiences.
Carl, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.